In the dimly lit corridors of Haneda Airport, strange whispers began to circulate. A man, impeccably dressed in a tailored suit, stepped off a plane and handed over a passport, the likes of which had never been seen before. Taured, it read, a name that perplexed the officer who meticulously thumbed through the pages, each stamped with visas from places that existed and some that didn't. He spoke eloquently, his eyes sharp and deep, as if holding secrets millennia old. His insistence that Taured lay nestled between France and Spain was met with skeptical chuckles, then baffling silence as he slid a map across the desk. Authorities shuffled him off to a secluded office where high-ranking officials questioned him for hours. Each answer was more bewildering than the last, littered with historical inaccuracies that clashed with recorded events. His currency, colorful yet intricate, was unlike anything filed in the archives. Under constant supervision, he was escorted to a nearby hotel. The night clung to a sense of unease, hanging in the corridors like a thick fog as the mysterious traveler remained confined to his room. Precautions saw his doors locked and windows barred, yet unease gnawed at the guards stationed outside. As dawn's rays tiptoed into the room, they found nothing but an eerie silence and his abandoned luggage. No ruffle from the bed, no indent from a restless night. He was gone. The locks remained unbroken, windows untouched. It was as if he simply vanished into thin air. No trace left behind, no lead to follow. The legend of the man from Taured persists, a ghostly reminder of how little we truly understand. The bustling atmosphere of Tokyo Haneda Airport filled the air as an immigration officer, Akira, glanced over at the throngs of travelers shuffling through the terminal. His shift had begun as usual, with a parade of passports being handed over, bearing names of familiar countries. However, what started as a monotonous day swiftly transformed into a perplexing enigma when a sharply dressed man approached Akira's station. With an air of quiet confidence, the stranger slid his passport across the counter. Akira opened the document to reveal something astonishing. The word Taured was embossed in gold letters across the cover, accompanied by a strange emblem he had never seen before. Akira's fingers twitched with wary curiosity. Taured, he murmured, raising his eyes to meet the man's calm gaze. Forgive me, sir, but I'm not familiar with this nation. The man remained composed, his voice unwavering. Taured has been on your maps for centuries. If you look closely, it's there, he asserted, his words filled with an odd certainty. Puzzled, Akira signaled for a senior officer, and together they scoured the world maps and airport records in a side room, seeking any whispers of this mystical land. Yet, their efforts yielded nothing. No cartographer's pen had etched such a name on any known atlas. Returning to the man, Akira couldn't hide his suspicion. I'm afraid there's no such country, sir, he said, trying to gauge the traveler's reaction. The man sighed, as if irritantly brushing away an invisible cobweb of confusion. Yesterday, I could have shown you my land on a map, he said with an unsettling calmness. Today, it seems as though it has vanished. As the day wore on, the mystery of the man and the elusive land of Taured swirled through the officer's mind, leaving a mark of unease. They decided to hold the man for further questioning, placing him in a room under watchful eyes. But as mysteriously as he appeared, the man vanished within hours, leaving behind no trace, not even of his passport. Authorities were baffled. Who was he? Where did he go? And more importantly, what of his Taured? The unanswered questions lingered like a fog, leaving behind an ethereal memory of a place called Taured, a country that existed somewhere equally within the realm of imagination and reality. A bustling tarmac glistened with moisture as planes landed and departed under the watchful eyes of Japanese officials. their narrowed gazes fixed on the peculiar man seated before them. He looked ordinary enough: dark suit, leather briefcase, and an impressively calm demeanor, especially given the circumstances. In his hand, he carefully held a passport, unlike any they had ever seen. It was navy, embossed with the golden coat of arms for a land unknown to all in the room, Taured. The documents were thorough, precise, every page stamped with real visas proving years' worth of travels. Yet, the authorities were baffled. As renowned as their country was for welcoming international visitors, they missed noticing when Taured appeared on the map. The man pinpointed a location, unyielding confidence radiating from his finger as it hovered over the western edge of Europe, nestled between France and Spain, a place where only the picturesque Pyrenees mountains existed. A low murmur buzzed among the officers as they extracted phones and typed frantically, pausing at the unsettling realization Taured's existence was a riddle whose answer eluded the annals of Google and atlases alike. Fear of conspiracy gnawed at their cords of reason. Was this a plot, a smartly devised ruse by a crafty traveler, or something else entirely? One officer, bold in suspicion, leaned forward, eager perhaps to glimpse deceit in the man's eyes. Yet he saw nothing but earnest persistence and maybe, just maybe, a hint of confusion himself. They decided they had no choice but to investigate further come morning. For his safety, and perhaps their own, they escorted him to an airport hotel under quiet watch. The sun released Japan from the hold of night's darkness, but in room 419, serene expectation greeted them. The bed didn't appear slept in. The suitcase remained in perfect order on the rack, his passport alongside it. And the man from Taured, a mere specter, vanished along the thin line dividing reality and imagination, leaving behind only whispers of another world. Not a door was tampered with, nor a window ajar. Only the insoluble mystery of a country and its native traveler vanished into the unyielding fabric of time and existence. In the filing cabinets of Japanese customs, a case remains open, awaiting the next collision of Taured with our own reality. Detective Lana Brooks walked the dimly lit hallway of the Wintercrest Hotel. The tensions of those around her were palpable, hanging in the air like the potent aroma of mystery. The rumors swirling through the small coastal town were wild and frantic. A man had disappeared from a locked hotel room, under constant surveillance, and with no plausible escape route. Lana's sharp eyes scanned the surroundings, taking in every little detail: the chipped paint on the window frame, the slight draft under the door, the brass key in Mr. Hargrove's sweaty grip. Something was amiss, but what? The guard was a burly man named Frank, a former military officer with a gaze as steady as steel. "I was here all night, Ms. Brooks. There's no way he could have slipped past," Frank asserted, pointing a thumb over his shoulder towards the door now wide open to expose a neat, empty room. Lana nodded, thoughtful. "We might have a phantom on our hands," she mused aloud, drawing a reluctant chuckle from the guard. She stepped into the room. Everything was impeccably spotless, the bed made, and the amenities untouched. Yet something about the mirror caught her eye. It was switched slightly. Upon inspection, Lana found a small catch behind it. With a twist, the mirror pivoted, revealing a narrow passage running behind the walls of the hotel. A secret escape route, leading God knew where. "And so the mystery deepens," she whispered to herself. As the revelation sank in, the team began an earnest investigation into where the passage led and who else knew of its existence. It was far from over. There were whispers of illegal smuggling rings in the region, secretive societies operating under cloaks of innocent facades, and a clandestine world hidden away in the shadows of the unsuspecting town. The missing man from room 305 was just the beginning of a larger, more dangerous game. Detective Lana Brooks's determination flared, and she promised herself this wasn't merely a vanishing act. It was an invitation into the unknown that she was more than prepared to accept.